Cornerstone Nation, John Kight coming at you here live. I am so excited about today and about basically this recording that we're going to be able to get done with the one and only Terry Stevens. And golly, I mean, she is incredible. I think everybody in our organization knows how awesome she is at booking appointments. There's a couple of agents. Her son, Andrew Pappas, one of Equus's top producers, and Johnny Roberts, also one of Equus's top producers week in and week out. I mean, and Terry she may be booking appointments for more people. I'm not sure, but it seems like that she does Andrews, and I know she does Johnny's, but I'll let her kind of get into that. But I'm so excited that to have her on and to really talk about what she does every week. It's kind of just become routine for her, and I want her to teach it. I want her to slow down and teach how she basically communicates to all different lead types. I mean, not only A leads, but also inventory leads, leads that might cost a dime, leads that cost $2, $6, whatever. And so she's an incredible communicator about the need for setting up the appointment and having the field underwriter satisfy their request. And so we're going to get down into the weeds of that today. I want to do some recognition. I kind of hate that we don't do the full leaderboard anymore. I hadn't really gotten any pushback on that, so I think maybe you guys are glad that I don't read off every single name. But I'm just going to tell you, every single field underwriter that goes out and protects a family every single week, you guys do not know how much you matter to us. You matter obviously to the family or families that you protected, but as far as what you matter to us, so the fact that I'm not taking 10 minutes and reading off every name anymore, please do not let that please not let that communicate to you how that you're not important, because that is not true. Matter of fact, I made a post this morning about blind spots and about things like that. So maybe don't let that be your blind spot, because that is not true at all. So, but doing some recognition, we've got 5 new unique writers: Christopher Galwith, Calvin Rayner, Evan Carter, Stephen Alameda, Thomas Claunch. Hopefully I pronounced all of your names correctly. And congratulations for joining Equus and going out and protecting at least one family. And Calvin Rayner, goodness gracious, Calvin, I mean, you were our agent of the day. So, and what was that? Let me see. You were our agent of the day and did $10,414 in annualized premium yesterday. Like, what's up with that, man? Like, that is good stuff. Can't wait to find out a little bit more about that. As a matter of fact, whoever Calvin's upline is, if maybe you can send me a text and let me know kind of like what's going on. Yesterday was a big time success story. I don't know if Calvin is a new agent or just new to Cornerstone Group. So I would love to find out about that day yesterday. Congratulations to Jamie Trent. He goes under the tagline, the Cardinal, under the Cornerstone Financial Group GroupMe. And so anyway, Jamie, congratulations on your annuity yesterday, $294,000 annuity. Guys, listen, I know I probably go overboard telling y'all how awesome you are, and the fact that I think we have the best field underwriters and leaders in the whole industry. If I do go overboard with that, if that's a fault, then let it be a fault, because I'm going to continue to tell you that. But please understand, when I say that we have the very best retirement solution specialist in the insurance industry in the Cornerstone Group, guys, I'm just telling you, you've got to see that is a truth. I mean, when you look at people like Jamie Trent, Patrick DeLorenzo, Brett Grossman, Joe Skelly, I mean, guys, did y'all plug into to Thursday's Retirement Solutions training? Did you plug in? Did you hear Brett Grossman? I mean, guys, and I'm not going to name any more names, but we have so many more retirement solutions specialists. And here's the thing, like Pete Lee said yesterday on Equus's national call, all you have to do is do what you do. All you have to do is be good at mortgage protection, be good at field underwriting, and just simply be good at asking a few extra questions to determine if possibly your client, whether you write them mortgage protection or not, is your client a candidate for retirement solutions. And I realize that the reason most people don't bring it up is because they're not confident in their knowledge. They're not confident that if they bring it up, if the client asks questions, nobody wants to be put in a situation where when they get asked questions, they don't know how to answer. That's uncomfortable. Nobody wants to put themselves in that situation. But with our retirement solutions specialist, you don't have to be put in that situation. All you have to do is just simply let them know that you are glad to pass along their information, and that you'll have somebody contact them because they do need to find out about what we have to offer to protect retirements, to create tax-free retirements. And if you've already worked your whole life and you've put your money in something like a 401k, was there better options? Yes, but you didn't have anybody tell you about them. That's okay. Now let's do the best thing we can to actually protect the retirement. So retirement solutions, even though we haven't had what we call an advanced market minute the last couple of weeks, do not want to lessen the importance of advanced markets. And so, but we will continue to do those, not only with Jamie and Patrick, but also with Brett and Joe and others. So, so looking at this past week, let's just look at the top 25. There he is again, Calvin Rayner. Submitted 2 applications for $4,182. We do have capped and uncapped. And for those of you guys that are brand new, let me explain what that means. When somebody writes an annuity, okay, that's capped. No matter how much the annuity is, it's capped. Well, as long as it's over 5,000, but no matter how big the annuity is, it's capped at 5,000. So you can see that on Jamie's numbers there. But Calvin Rayner, $4,182 on 2 families help. Brian Nicely, 2 families help, $4,490. James Gomez, 2 families help, $4,981. Shirley Clark, 2 families help for just under $5,000. Jason Brown, 7 families help. I was just with Jason down in Auburn, Alabama. Way to go, Jason Brown. 7 families help, $5,252. There's another brand new writer in the top 25, Christopher Gawith. 4 families help for $5,253. John Kight Jr., JK2. Way to go, man. 6 families help, $5,320. Congratulations there, man. Kev, he goes by one name. He's like Prince. He's like Cher. He's Kev. We know him as Kevin Hopkins. 5 families help for $5,338. Andrew Pappas, have his mom on as our guest today. Senior sales manager, going district, going regional. Andrew, come on, Bubba, text me, man. When's that gonna happen? Is it gonna happen? I do have knowledge that we do have a brand new district manager, and I'm not going to mention any names, but Joe Skelly will announce it once it becomes official, and it's July 1st. How about that? So Andrew Pappas, 11 families help. But I tell you what, man, Andrew rocks and rolls in the S quadrant. $5,386 annualized premium. Matt Pertusit, rock and roll superstar, man. 8 families help, $5,497. Darby Robichaux, 6 families help, $5,529. Barry Tuzo, 3 families help, $5,887. Flora Roas, 5 families help, 5,906. Douglas Wright, 6 families help, 5,918. Johnny Roberts, senior sales manager, 4 families help, 6,308. Kadeen Newman, senior sales manager, 7 families help, 6,448. Deborah Kling, 5 families help for 6,686. Kyle Van Loo, virtual sales manager, 9 families help for 6,818. Coming in number 7, Jeffrey. Let me tell you a story about a man named Jed Knapp. 7 families help, 7,085. Jose Avalos Martinez, 2 families help, 7,700. Tyler Bosch, sales manager, 8 families help for 8,282. Getting closer to that Corvette, Tyler. Stand By Me Smith, 5 families help, 8,903. Tori Vallon, sales manager, 5 families help, 9,083. Hey, by the way, let me back up to Stand By Me Smith. Stanley, awesome job on the call yesterday, man. You rocked it in front of Equus Nation. You and Dontre and Todd, man, y'all rocked the house, man. Congratulations to you guys. And Stan, I'm so proud of what's going on your team, man. I know regional managers just like, it's just right here, man. It's just take the step forward and it's going to happen, man. Tori Vallon, 5 families help, 9,083. Awesome week, TV. Daniel McCray, national manager, 3 families help, 10,197. I also know Daniel McCray is 100% virtual. Congratulations, Daniel. We've got the number 1 field underwriter of the week, Mr. Jamie Trent, the Cardinal. He's a national manager. He helped 6 families for capped 16,185. What does that mean? That means he made a bunch of money last week. Uncapped 253,885. So congratulations, Jamie Trent. Congratulations to the top 25. And again, I can continue to name names. We had 93 agents go out and protect families last week for 242 applications and 278,771. Hey guys, real quick before I bring on Terry, this is serious stuff now. We've got it's today and tomorrow, last of June. I mean, can you imagine we're already like a third of the way through the summer months? I mean, like seriously, like we're coming up on July 4th, guys. You're gonna snap your fingers and it's gonna be Labor Day. So let me stamp this importance. Those of you guys, you have pending business, we really need you to pick up the phone and call the carrier. Guys, they have as much of a deadline to get the business issue paid as we do. So utilize that deadline. Call them up. What do we have to do to get this issued? We have so much business that's already approved that's just sitting there, guys. Let's get that taken care of. And I'm definitely going to put the charge on all of you sales managers and above. Make sure that happens inside of your organization. So the next 2 days in amongst going out there, I know you guys, there's been a tremendous amount of leads distributed. I know you guys are out there kicking butt, taking names, but do your pending and get yourself paid. Okay, it's important. So with that, here it is, guys. Life-changing. This call today, mark my words, this call today will be absolutely life-changing for somebody out there, for somebody that needs to know, how do I be efficient at booking my calendar? How can I go from booking almost enough appointments each week and staying frustrated? Maybe having a good week here, maybe having a good week there, but how do I get on the road to consistency? For some of you guys, it's simply a matter of just booking 2 to 3 more appointments per week. You're right there, guys. You're right there. You're doing almost enough to really get it into that category of what we call an elite producer here at Equus Financial. And so to teach us today We've got Terry Stevens. Terry, do I have you out there? I think you're muted. Do we have you? Maybe Tammy will unmute you. I can see you, just can't hear you. Tammy, I know Tammy's probably working like her fingers like crazy right now. So let's see here. I've got Ollie on as well. Ollie, are you out there?
I am right here.
Hey, Ollie Collins.
Hey, how are you, John Kight?
Good, man. While we're getting Terry situated, you sent me a text, and I actually tried to real quick before I jumped on. Like I remembered it like 10 seconds before the video started, and so unsuccessful at finding it. But you sent me a text a couple of weeks ago about Terry's numbers. I don't know if it was over a weekend. Do you have? Can you share that? Like, I think over a weekend, like she had booked like 54 appointments. That was obviously, for the people she was booking appointments for, but also for herself. But 54 appointments over a weekend.
Yeah, so I do. So here are the numbers. She called for 4.5 hours on Friday, 7 hours on Saturday. She made 198 phone calls. She left messages whenever it was possible. She did 680 text messages. She called 25. See, people will hear 54, and a lot of times, John, I know what you're going to hear next is, well, yeah, but she was probably dialing all those A leads, and I can't afford those A leads. She was only dialing 25 A leads. So wow. It's still, so let's say she went 25 for 25. She still booked 30 appointments. And so 25 A leads, 60 B and C leads, 40 incomplete phone leads, IPL leads, 40 of them. And as a matter of fact, she booked, I know of at least 5 appointments last week for Johnny Roberts, and Johnny wrote over 5,000 on IPL leads that she booked. 50 Mailco leads and 500 leads that are a year or older. She booked 52 appointments and then 4 for the following week. And then people kept texting her, and the lead tally just kept going up from there. And
Love it.
I can call her and maybe talk to her, and y'all can see her until she gets her mic situated. Do you think that'll be okay?
Maybe we have it situated. Tammy, do we have that situated yet? Terry, do we have you out there?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, I'm good.
Can you hear me?
I don't know what's going on. Sorry. It was all that hype. It was all that build up,
John, can you hear her?
And we've talked about your awesome ability to book appointments, and so Ollie just read those stats of a couple weekends ago where you'd booked like 54 appointments, and can you just take and really slow down and talk to us? How can somebody go out utilizing inventory leads? How can somebody go out and duplicate what you do? Voicemails, text messages. I don't know if it's a pigeon out with a note tied to its foot. But what could people do to book more appointments?
No magic formula. It's just work. I know that nobody really wants to hear that. Today's day and age, we want instant gratification and instant results. Are you guys getting a lot of feedback, or is it just me?
We're getting some feedback, but it's not bad at all. I'm sure it's worse for you than it is for us.
Okay. If it gets bad, just holler at me and I can just figure a different way to do it. Okay, so anyway, I guess I'll just kind of break it down for everybody, and because sometimes things can seem super confusing that really aren't. So the very first thing that I do is I look at my calendar.
Terry, I think they can. Why don't you log on from your phone real quick? It'll just make it easier. And speaking to your speakerphone.
Okay.
Bye.
Go ahead. You can talk while I go figure it out.
So she's gonna take a quick break and log on from her phone. I'm sure she'll be right back. She's got the link there on her text messages. She tried it from her PC, but was struggling a little bit. So,
From your perspective,
John, hold on. Let
her,
me turn up my volume. Say that again, buddy.
Ollie, from your perspective, being her brother, Terry is as humble as she is. She's not going to tell people how awesome she really is. But from you being her brother and also being the head of the Difference Makers organization, and you see what she does in there, you also see how duplicatable she can be. You hold your hands up every now and then and go, I don't know why more people don't duplicate her and go out there and do the number of appointments that an Andrew Pappas does or a Johnny Roberts or a Doug Wright does. So what would you say about Terry that everybody needs to know that she probably wouldn't say about herself?
Well, and it's the thing that I think makes her so good at what she does here. She's a bulldog. She's got a work ethic. She was a single mom from a number of years, raising 4 kids, never went on state assistance, just busted her butt working 3 jobs, making sure her babies were clean and went to school with a full belly and a lunch, and did whatever she could. I mean, I got her a job working for the wine company that I worked at, throwing cases of wine. I mean, she was like 8 months pregnant, and she was stocking the shelves of stores with wine because she's a hard worker. Her and her husband own their own business. And that tenacity that you need to have as a small business owner, she's brought here. Listen, she used to ride on the back. Well, not ride on the back. She used to drive around in a recycling truck, throwing recycling, stinking recycling all day long. When you talk about it's hard to book 15 appointments, no, go spend a day on a garbage truck or a recycling truck. That's hard. But when you take that mentality of whatever it takes and you apply it here, you're going to succeed the way Terry has. You're going to succeed the way a lot of elite producers have. It's that mentality. It's that work ethic. Not so much what she says, yes, that's important. She's going to cover that. How she organizes things is important too. But the fact that she was willing to work for 9, 10, 11 hours over a 2-day time period to book those appointments, that's that she's taking pride in the work that you do. That's the difference maker for Terry. So anyway, I see her on now, so hopefully we can.
Hey, Ollie.
Hear
her. So now it's that work ethic that we see in Andrew Pappas. Now his secret's out.
That secret's out, man. He does not get a
secret's out. It's coming. It's coming from Mama right there. So Terry, do we have you up and live?
Hi, can you hear me? Can you hear? Oh, good, you can. Nice. It's so nice to not hear myself. Okay, so where I was at was I wanted to talk about like the exact process. Because sometimes I think people, like I said before, think it's just a quick fix or easy. But I think it can be easy if you have a good process and you stick to it. So this is like how like this morning started for me as an example. So the first thing I do is I oh, after I thank God for my day, I look at the calendar of the people I'm setting appointments for. Right now, I'm setting appointments for Johnny, Andrew, and myself. So I look at our calendars and I see where the holes are. If there's any holes in Johnny's day, like this morning, there was a few holes. So I went to my text message and I went to my own name and I text messaged myself and I said, um, the available times remaining for your underwriter are today at 1 and 4:30. Will either one of those work so he can close out on the paperwork? And I shot the text off to about 150 people. And so after I did that, I took a shower, got out, and I had 2 appointments booked. His day, I filled his day. Actually, one of them was a somebody he'd already wrote. They sent in another lead, so that was kind of funny. But so that's how I work now. I send a text, I fill the holes, and then if there's still holes, then I start making dials. So let me go back even farther in time a little bit, because that's sounding super probably ahead of the game. So the first thing that you need to do as a brand new person texting is you need to get your business on your phone. And what I mean by that is you need to go to Opt and you need to log into Opt. You need to look at the first lead you have. You need to call that lead. You call the lead and they either answer or don't answer. Let's just say every lead doesn't answer, or they don't answer. So you send a text right away. You have the number up on your phone already. You click text message and you send a text. So normally I would already have the text message would say something like this. Let me do it from an agent's point of view. So I would say, hi, I'm Terry Stevens. I'm the field underwriter assigned to your mortgage protection paperwork. I wanted to schedule a brief meeting with you to go over your protection options. It takes about 15 minutes. I have tomorrow at 1 p.m. and 5 p.m., or I have Thursday at 6 and 7, whatever times. Let me know which will work, and I will and I'll get you down and we can get this paperwork taken care of. And I send that text. And then I go to the next lead and I do the same thing. I call them up. If they answer, I try to set the appointment. If I don't set the appointment, let's say they say, I'm not interested. I already talked to somebody and I absolutely don't want you ever calling me again. Then what I do is I go to, after they hang up on me, I go to the text. I still go to a text, like I'm texting them, and I say, like, Bill Smith, I will note your file. And then I go to Opt, and I, where it says, the lead, you can mark it as like an appointment or do not call. I mark it do not call. But it's in my phone and it's in Opt. So then I go to the next person, and if I book the appointment, great. I booked an appointment for tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Great. I have you down. Have a good day. I send them a text that says that you're all set for tomorrow at 1. Have a good day. Then I go to Opt and I mark it as an appointment. And then it's also marked as an appointment in my phone. And then I just go through, and eventually, as you do that, every single person is going to be in your phone. So also, if I call, so let's say I have 100 people in my phone now, and it's Friday morning, my new leads haven't come in yet, and I need to try to start setting some appointments. So I go to my old leads that are in my phone, and I go to the first, I go scroll all the way through, go to the first one, make a phone call. And if they don't answer, it goes to voicemail. I leave a voicemail. Then I send a text, and the text will say, I left you a voicemail. And I send that for 2 reasons. One, so they say, oh, she left me a voicemail. I wonder what that's about. And 2, I know I called them. So I always have a running record of how often I call and or text somebody. And I think that so when I'm out doing anything, I always have it with me, and I can always, call people or text them. I don't let the fact that I'm not sitting down in front of my computer stop me from doing my business. If I have a no-show, I have my whole business on my phone. There's no reason why I need to be sitting in front of the computer with, my carved out time, with my snacks, and I'm going to roll up my sleeves and do it. Now, I'm not saying I don't do that. I absolutely do. I absolutely do set time, like, especially Saturday mornings, with the team dials. You may not see me on there, but I am on text. I am on. I'm calling, I'm texting. I always send Ollie a message with my leads, with appointments I've set or what my goals are. Those are set times for me. I always text in the morning. And then I text again in the afternoon or early evening. I quit texting at 10 o'clock. Last night it was, I'll have to ask Andrew, but I think it was like 11:30, and I set an appointment for this morning. So, I mean, if they're answering, they're up. So and if have my phone and see it, I'll respond. That's kind of like, I kind of take their lead. If they're answering me, then I'm going to answer them. And I don't worry about what time that is. I know that there's a lot of, different philosophies on how you should or shouldn't do things. Like Ollie always says to me, everything works and everything doesn't work. And it's true. Like, I leave voicemails, and the reason why I leave voicemails is because of this. I was sitting at my mom's house one day, and her phone rang, her house phone. And she sat there and stopped talking to me, and she was listening. And she was screening her call. And I was like, you know what? So many people do that because telemarketers don't leave voicemails. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So I'm going to start leaving voicemails. So I leave voicemails all the time. It's, to me, and I know that I don't want to debate it. Some people do, some don't. I mean, whatever works for you, do it. But this is about what works for me. So that I can only speak to that. And what works for me is to leave a voicemail. I have people call me back all the time. And to me, it's not about tricking the client into getting an appointment. It's about booking a quality appointment for people that want an appointment. That's my goal. My goal isn't to be sneaky and deceivious. If people say, is this life insurance? I say, absolutely. It absolutely is. And it'll protect your mortgage. I mean, I'm honest, and people, and I think as long as I always work from a place of honesty. I don't try to be devious in any way, or, what I'm saying, like a skirt around the issue. I explain mortgage protection. They say, well, what's this about? I'm going to call my lender. I get that all the time. So I say, when they say I want to call my bank, I say, well, your bank doesn't really have anything to do with this. Back a long time ago, it used to be at closing that you would sit, the mortgage company would give you that protection options for your mortgage. And they're like, yeah, I remember that, or whatever. And I say, well, they no longer can do that because it's a lot more than just protecting the policy if you die now. These policies have so many more additional options that could be available to you. And that's why he needs to come, or I need to come sit down with you to go over those options. It will only take a few minutes, and then I know you have all the information, you have all the information, then we can just both move on. And I usually book the appointment. Um, so I don't really, it's not a one and done. When Ali asked me to how many appointments I booked last week and how many hours I spent, I literally didn't know. I literally had to go back and count because it's, I think that, to get real with you guys, you have to have a business owner mentality. And if you have a business owner mentality, you don't count how many hours. You don't count how much time you spent. You just do it. Me and my husband, like Ali said, we used to own a business. And I mean, if I sat down and thought about all the hours I put into that company, I probably would fall over. You just do it. It's like when you have a bunch of kids, people used to say to me, "Oh my goodness, you have 4 kids. That must be a lot of work." And it's like, well, I mean, I guess it is, but you just do it. You know, when you're sitting around bemoaning, "Oh, I was on the phone for 2 hours. I had to send all these text messages. Nobody answered." You know, you're taking time. It takes time to whine. So just go do the work, quit, you know, and that's how I feel about it. I mean, I'm just a mom. I'm not anybody special. Like what I do, anybody can do. And so just do it. And that's really the bottom line. Just to roll up your sleeves, find a system that works for you as far as tracking. I just told you my system, what works for me. Maybe you'll use a little bit of my system, and maybe you'll use a little bit of John's or Bill Martin's or Rob Jones or Ollie's or Anders. I mean, you'll find your niche what works for you, but you're not going to find it. Excuse me, sorry. An was calling me. That's funny. A call back. You're not going to find it if you don't try. You know, when I first started doing this, I was booking appointments for Ollie, and I only ever did phone calls. Then I slowly morphed into text messaging. And from text messaging, I just started thinking about it. Like, okay, if I was a person, like what would I do? Um, I mean, I am a person, but I mean, if I was a client, what would I do? Um, if somebody sent me a text message. So I tried to make it like, "Hi, this is Terry Stevens." I always say my name. It just seems more personable. I'm the appointment setter, or I'm the field underwriter. And, you know, at the end of the day, there's always going to be those people that aren't going to respond. And then I have what I call Hail Mary passes that I throw at those people. And what those look like is, I don't know about your phones, but mine, you can send an audio message, and I send audio messages to the people that absolutely aren't answering phone calls. They aren't telling me no. They're not. They're just blank. They're doing nothing. I send an audio message to them, basically saying the same thing that, "Hi, this is Terry Stevens. I'm sending you this audio message today because I've been trying to get a hold of you by text and phone call, and you aren't answering. So I'm thinking you might think I'm a telemarketer. So I thought I would try this last way to try to reach you. I'm trying to set an appointment." And then I proceed to say what I'm doing. I get people that respond. Does everybody respond? No, everybody doesn't, but some do. And some people that I've never been able to get a hold of. I send cute little emojis, like a little dog or a little cat. And I was like, "Here's a little dog and here's a little cat. Now that I have your attention, I'm the appointment setter, or I'm the field underwriter." I mean, those are the last ditch effort people. And I get some people that respond, and they'll say, "Oh my gosh, that's so funny. And I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, I have allergies and my nose is really itchy." Um, you know, and they think it was funny, and so they answer my text message, or they call me. And then a lot of times they apologize. And then how I usually make the phone call for new people, I know that sometimes making phone calls is scary, because it is sometimes. And I think that text messaging helps with that. And this is why. So if you call somebody on the phone, um, after you've been say you text them first, and you call them on the phone and you say, "Hi, is this Bill? Hi, hi, Bill. This is Terry Stevens. I'm the person that's been texting you. I'm trying to set an appointment." And it already feels like to them like you have a relationship, even though you don't at all. But it's almost like a relationship because you've been texting, and so you kind of pretend like, "Oh yeah, I'm the person that's been texting you, like we're best friends. Hint, hint, don't you want to book an appointment with me?" And it's made appointment setting so much easier in that sense. It's kind of an icebreaker, because they'll say, "Oh yeah, I wondered who that was," or, "Yeah, I got your text messages. I thought it was just junk," or, and then it instantly breaks that ice, and you can instantly move right into setting the appointment. So that is super nice as well. I'm not really sure how I think I kind of covered a lot of the things that I wanted to talk with you guys about. Is there anything, Ollie, you have any questions, or John?
I'm sitting here actually taking notes, Terry. I've got notes sitting here, and I love your honesty. You know, and here's something I'm going to tell the Cornerstone Group. You know, at some point in time, you cut the sales crap. Just cut it. You know what? I mean, when I was in the field, I can just tell you that stuff, it bugged me. I have my own story and why I started leaving voicemails, and I figured out a voicemail that got so many callbacks. It was incredible. But I'm not going to teach that. It's not my time to teach that. But I mean, what you're hearing Terry talk about, you know, if some of you guys would cut the sales crap and just start being honest, no deception. Don't answer somebody's question with the same canned sales crap that you heard. You know, I don't know, whatever. But just if you just seek, Terry said it. It's not the number of appointments that you set up because you successfully win. You win. You know, I see some people winning the battle in the home and writing an application that always falls off the books 2 days later. Why do you want to continue to win that? Why do you want to try to sell a policy so bad and you're so aggressive that your chargeback ratio is more than 10-15%? I don't understand that. And don't try to tell me it's for the client's good, okay? What Terry just said is her goal is to book quality appointments. If somebody's rude and they don't want to book an appointment, I don't hear where Terry's given us mechanisms where we're overcoming those people and booking appointment success. You know, I think so many people, Terry, I think so many people out there, instead of simply trusting the numbers and going through the numbers, I think people think that somebody like a Brandon Hall, the reason Brandon writes, 20, 25 plus applications a week on his own pen is because he must have figured out a way to make people that aren't interested, make them interested. And Brandon laughs at that. Brandon's not figured that out, nor does he do that. And I think people think when they see the amount of appointments that you book, oh, so Terry's figured out how to book the people that I can't book, the people that don't want to book an appointment, the people you do get on the phone with and they go, don't ever call me again. I've already got it taken care of. And they're, I don't see you teaching mechanisms where, hey, let me tell you like how to overcome that and book it. I don't want to book an appointment with that person. I mean, guys, we don't have a shortage of leads in Opt. Go find somebody that, yeah, when they ask you, is this life insurance? Yes, it's life insurance. Let me explain how mortgage protection works. Let me explain life insurance with living benefits. We run across people that are younger than 70 years old in good health that have whole life policies that were probably sold them by some final expense guy that only knew how to sell a whole life policy, right? So guys, if you just slow down, take a page out of Terry Stevens' book, if you'll slow down, and if you'll really put your focus on the right things, you'll not only feel better about yourself, but you'll also start communicating who you are and what you really represent to the client. Terry, the last thing I'll say, and I'll let Ollie chime in, and that is I love the fact that you tell people your full name. I did the same thing. I mean, be personable. Tell people your full name. Introduce yourself as the field underwriter. This simply, your job is to satisfy their request. And Terry, I love how your whole effectiveness, everything that you developed into, started by you just making phone calls. And there are people that still teach in the industry. The only way to book appointments is phone calls. Don't ever leave a message. Don't send a text. Call them. Call them 18 times consecutively and they pick up. I wouldn't want it. I've never don't even get me started on that. Ollie Collins, any comments or any direction that you want to take Terry in?
Well, Terry, talk a little bit about lead flow. I know that you work really closely with the agents that you set appointments with to make sure that there's a proper amount of lead flow and all different types of leads too. So could you touch on that real quick?
Hey,
Sure, absolutely.
Terry, also real quick before I forget, people have asked me a million times, how does Terry send these group texts? Is there an app or something that you use?
Okay, well, I'll answer the group text question first. So I have an iPhone I don't have an iPhone, excuse me. I have an Android and I have Verizon messaging service that I use for my phone. So this is what I do. I send myself the text, like if I send the original text out, hi, this is the appointment setter, or I'm Terry Stevens, and then they didn't answer. So then as I'm booking appointments and the times are changing, then I send an update. I say updated times available, like 1, 4, and 7. Do any of these work for you? I pretend like they actually answered the first call or the first text, and I send them an updated time, like, oh, I know you were really thinking about one of those times, but now there's updated times. So what I do is I send myself a text message and I say updated times available are 1, 4, and 7. Then I send it to myself, and then I go back to the message and I hold on it and I forward it. And on my phone and on with Verizon Messenger, I hold on and forward it, and then I can see all the numbers of all the people I just text. So then I can just click all the way down through how many people I want to forward it to and click send. They don't see the other people. It's sent as an individual text. Now, I'm sure that iPhones would have a similar app. I don't know if Verizon Messenger is different. I haven't really looked at other apps to do that with because mine works. And I'm sure if mine didn't work that I would find something. So that's back to, just look and see if you can download the Messenger app. I know a lot of people who have iPhones who have Verizon don't use the Verizon Messenger. They use something else. So maybe use that for your business. That's the best I can say for that. But it's definitely worth whatever time. I mean, before I took a shower today, I sent 172 text messages out to Johnny's clients. And so when Ollie's talking about lead flow, I book for Johnny and Andrew, I book a lot of A leads. They do both get a lot of A leads, but sometimes they don't. So I've been booking IPL leads for Johnny and for myself. In my area where I live, I don't get a lot of A leads. So I have to be creative. I buy mortgage protection leads. I buy IPLs. I buy Mailco leads, and I treat them all the same. And I know that maybe that's not the best thing to do, but I treat them all like they're A leads. I don't really do anything different because I think that the more wrenches, the monkey wrenches I throw into my system, the more apt I am to be like, oh, that's just going to be too much. I'm not going to do it. So I try to keep it simple. So I can just, if it's a mortgage protection lead, the only thing different I might do for mortgage or for a life lead, like a final expense lead, is I will change my wording and I will say I'm for your insurance, for your life insurance. And I'll call them. I don't door knock them. Don't tell anybody that. I don't door knock. I text and phone call final expense leads. Just like I do a mortgage protection, I treat them the same. And they act the same. So, I mean, if they're all going to join the little team, then I guess I'll let them do that. But I treat all of the leads the same. So once I text them and they're in my phone, they get text every time. Like, so I have this big batch of leads. Like, let's say I have 400 leads for Johnny, and I send all my text messages out. For this morning, I sent all my text messages out. I think I sent a screenshot of it to Ollie. I had 2 people come back, say, yes, I want to book an appointment. One person said, what is this about? And 2 people said, I'm not interested. So with the not interested people, I say, I will note your file. So then I know the next time I'm sending out a group message, when I see that my last message to them was, I will note your file, they're not in the group anymore. Now the group got a little smaller. But then when I add the new A leads in, now the group got a little bigger again. So it's always an active, updated Rolodex, so to speak, of customers that are current leads that haven't responded, that I still need an answer from. Period. They haven't answered me in any way. So that's what I text. So as far as I'm concerned, if it's a 2-year-old lead, it's just getting the same attention from me as the lead that Johnny got on June 5th. And I mean, I can't tell you how many times we've pulled those leads out. Like, Johnny will be like, Terry, this lead is like a year old, or this, and it's like, hey, they answered, and he writes them. It's an appointment, and it's a good solid appointment. And the one other thing I wanted to say that it kind of isn't about, it is, but it isn't about text appointments. When I've been booking for Ollie and Andrew and Johnny, the one thing that I do notice, and the reason why I got into text messaging was because I needed to take some time off of writing business because we were selling our business, and that took up a lot of my time. But I still wanted to keep my feet wet in the insurance industry, keep that lingo on my tongue, and not be, I didn't want to have to start all over again. So I just started setting appointments. I asked Ollie if I could set some appointments for him because it would kind of keep me, in the loop. So, but one thing, so it did. I mean, once I got back in, I mean, it's been no problem setting my own appointments. But one thing I did learn that it was kind of a surprising to me is the one thing that I learned from Ollie and Andrew and Johnny that I think would be some good insight for people is I watched the way they act. And the way the 3 of them act, they are what you see. What you see is what you get. They're genuine. There's no 5-alarm fire. They don't get upset. I accidentally booked 2 5 o'clock appointments for Johnny last week. And I was like, oh, Johnny, I'm so sorry. I don't know how I did that. He's like, it's fine. I'll make it work. And he did. I mean, they just are good people, and people see that. They see the genuineness in them, and that's why they're all successful agents. And I learned that. So when John says, oh, I like that you're being honest, well, I like to be honest, but that's how they are. They don't want to walk into a deceptive appointment where they don't want that. They want that person to know what they're there for, and it's and so I learned that from just setting their appointments and watching the way that they act with people, and they're fine with saying, I'm not really sure. I don't know that. Let me check. So they don't have to have all the answers. And I think people can respect that. And I think that's important. And that's something that you need to take into the home. If you are who you are, you don't have to remember anything. If you're always being honest, then you don't have to remember it because it's just the truth, right? So I think maybe just getting a system and being, open and honest with people will take you a lot farther than you imagine. Because I've seen it front row. I had a front row seat to 3 top agents doing exactly that.
So Terry, a question about maybe just logistics a little bit. Johnny works in a couple different areas. He might work up in Tuscola County or St. Clair County, and he'll work in a few other areas. And let's say, you're booking appointments. He's going to be up in St. Clair County, and he's got a little bit of white space. How do you go through your phone with all of those phone numbers, all of those text messages that you've sent. How do you go through and know that you're sending a message out to the people in that geographical area where he's already going to be on Wednesday running appointments?
Right. Well, for Johnny, it's easy because it's area codes. His area codes are different, so I didn't have to really do a lot of anything creative on a text message. But with Andrew, that's a different story. His counties can have similar area codes, and they can be 3 hours apart. So what I do is I send the message. So I'll say, let's say it's in LaPorte. So I'll put an L, and then I'll drop down a line, and then I'll say, hi, this is Terry Stevens. Or hi, I'm the appointment setter. Sorry, I'm not Terry Stevens. When I'm sending an appointment, I'm an appointment setter. So then I see the L and I know it's LaPorte, or as for St. Joe's, or whatever little system I use. You can even use numbers if that's better for you. And you can put it at the top of the text or at the bottom of the text. And people never ask what it is. They never, it's just my own internal way. So I would say you could even use like a little star. You could use, an emoji for different, I mean, as long as you have a system and use that system continuously. So, oh, I got a book. Andrew's got, 4 openings on Thursday in St. Joseph. So I go through my phone and find the St. Joseph leads. Or I sit in front of Opt, whichever, if I'm at home in front of the computer, then I'll do that. But that's usually how I do it, and it works. I mean, sometimes I mess up, don't get me wrong. I booked an Indiana appointment for Johnny last Friday, and that was supposed to be for Andrew, but I went ahead and rebooked it, so it's fine. I saved it. But everybody makes mistakes, and I guess that's okay, because we're all kind of learning, and we're all kind of figuring our way through. And I think a lot of it is just be patient with yourself, but just do the work. Just
Yeah, and some of those things are to be expected with the kind of activity that you're putting in. I mean, it just happens,
right.
but it's like crucial, like traumatic when there's a mistake and you only have 5 appointments. But when you have 20
Right.
appointments, 25 or 30 appointments, and there's one mistake, it's like, no big deal. We'll figure it out. It'll be okay.
Mhm.
No such thing as an emergency. So, Terry, you've done an amazing job. I mean, it is, but I think so much of what you've done and the system you've developed is because you jumped in and you did the work, and you found out what worked, what didn't work. You created your own little system that works for you. And I think that's something that anybody has to do, right? If they say, you know what, I want to start calling them and then leaving them a voicemail and then giving them a text message right away, and then start to use my phone, as like the entire Rolodex for my lead system, very similar to the way you're doing it, because we can't always all be in front of Opt, or maybe we forgot our leads at home, or whatever the deal is. What would you, I mean, they're going to have to figure out the bumps in the road too, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that I think when I first started texting, I was kind of shy about it because there wasn't anybody to follow. There really wasn't any, there was nothing. I mean, as far as I knew, I didn't know anybody else that was texting. So I just kind of had to, feel my way through. I think we've talked before about how I was doing it kind of behind your back a little bit. And you're finally like, okay, Terry, I know you're texting my appointments. How many have you texted? But I think there's a lot of things that you can say in text message that you can't always say in on a phone call, because sometimes people want to get you off the phone fast. So especially when people already have a policy, those are the best. I think those are the best turnarounds for texting. When they say, well, I already have a policy, I'm all set. And I always say, oh, that's great. Well, then just have it ready. And it'll only take him about 10 minutes then. Just have it ready. Do any of these times work? And that's usually, I usually book it, and there's not a lot of kickback. But on a phone call, it's harder for me to turn that objection around. With the text, it's easier. So I think that people will just kind of work their way through, and don't be shy about it. Just just do it, and if it doesn't work, then don't do it next time. And if it works, just, just kind of always evolve. Always look at your text messages with fresh eyes and see how it reads to you. When you read it the next day, go, oh, I shouldn't have said it that way. Let me reword this. Just always be willing to revamp it a little bit for yourself.
You sent me a message the other day, and I'm looking for it quickly. Oh, here it is. With COVID thankfully on its way behind us, the field underwriter is trying to finish up unfinished paperwork. He is requesting a brief meeting to go over your protection options for your mortgage. Would tomorrow at 5 p.m. work in your schedule? Just always thinking, just keeping it fresh and keeping it relatable. And I think that's why you connect so well. Mr. John Kight, are you there?
Yeah. Hey, thank you so much, Terry, and thank you, Ollie. This has been been an incredible past really half hour or so. I mean, I can't think. I mean, I knew it was going to be life changing, but I just know for a fact that if people will go back and listen to this recording or this podcast and take notes and duplicate, I think that it will be absolutely life changing to them. Terry, the only thing that I would ask you to do, as we wrap up and get off the call today, is maybe if on the Cornerstone group me, if you can post, like just post from your phone, screenshot maybe a couple of different text messages that you send.
Okay.
Just post those. Also, and I do know that you still make phone calls and dials and things like that. I don't know if you have a dial script somewhere. And again, I don't say that from a standpoint of, hey, people are going to look in there and see the secret. No, but I do think it'll be reassuring for people to know that, hey, okay, so Terry's phone script and Terry's text messages, I mean, they're, these things are totally duplicatable, and these things have come about because I talk about taking possession of your own mind. I talk about disciplining yourself, being intentional with what you want to accomplish, and it's all just a game of protecting your thought process. And whatever you focus your mind to, your brain figures out. If you have to get oxygen in order to live, your brain's going to figure out. It's all of a sudden, because you've been put in that situation, your brain is going to act fast. You've got that type of genius inside of you. And really, if you look at Terry's genius, this thing that she's teaching today has come about just because she thinks all the time about, hey, how do I book more appointments? How do I get more appointments for Johnny and Andrew and myself or whoever else that she may be dialing for? And so I just love it. So Terry, if you could post those, that'll be great. Thank you for your time today. And any additional thoughts that you have, don't be afraid to post those as well. So it's 11:02, so we're 2 minutes into bonus time. I'll let you guys go. Let's have a great end of June. And guys, July is going to be off the charts. God bless.